Hello, everyone. My name is Rich Fernandez, and I will be conducting today's DOCX training session. With me, I have members of the EMOD team that's going to assist in answering your questions. So in today's agenda, what I'll do is I'll conduct a presentation and detail DOCX, followed by a brief demo, and lastly, your Q&A session. So with that said, I'll go ahead and start today's presentation. And feel free throughout the chat or throughout the presentation to send your questions and address them to all panelists so that way we can get to your questions at the end of this presentation. What is DOCX? So DOCX is a word processing file format based on XML, and it's supported by many popular word processing applications such as Microsoft Word 2007 or higher, Google Docs, Office Online, LibreOffice, and Pages for Mac. Why use DOCX? DOCX has several benefits. First, it has secure formatting where metadata is automatically detected and removed from your document. Examples of metadata that we automatically remove is author, company, last modified by, comments, as well as bookmarks. It also increases application quality where we generate a feedback document in real time where the system will pinpoint exactly where in your document there are warnings or errors. This feedback document is only available pre-submission, and you can also download it as well. With DOCX, it eliminates the non-embedded font error, which is the most common error that you'll receive when filing or uploading a PDF. Other benefits include it saves time, where we automatically can split your sections if you upload a single file that contains your specification, claims, abstract, as well as drawings. The only requirement is that you need to use a valid section header so that our system will be able to detect and split the sections accurately. Because you're using a valid section header, we also are able to assign the document descriptions for you. It also eliminates the ability for you to not have to convert the DOCX to PDF. We'll go ahead and create that PDF for you. And lastly, with our real-time content-based validations, unlike PDF filings, it will hopefully result in fewer non-compliant notices. And I'll go over some of the validations later on in the brief demo that I'll show after this slide deck. The non-DOCX surcharge. Starting January 17, 2024, a surcharge of up to $400 will apply when filing a new non-provisional utility application in PDF format. This applies to the specification, claims, and abstract when filed in PDF. Please visit the summary of final patent fee rules for more information. Drawings are accepted in DOCX format. However, they can still be submitted in a PDF format as the surcharge does not apply to drawings. The surcharge also doesn't apply to the following application types: provisional, national stage, design, plant, as well as PCT applications. It only applies for new non-provisional utility applications. The auxiliary PDF, applicants have the option to submit a PDF document along with their application when they upload a DOCX in Patent Center. And I'll go briefly over how to upload the auxiliary PDF when I show the demo. This only applies to utility non-provisional applications, and this feature is available until further notice. This initiative will allow more time for applicants to acclimate to DOCX filings and for the USPTO to receive any feedback on conversion issues. Applicants can still rely on the DOCX version as a source or evidentiary copy. However, they may also rely on the auxiliary PDF to support a request to correct any discrepancies or errors. Applicants should still contact the Patent Electronic Business Center to support a request to, if they have any issues, with their DOCX filings, whether it be a conversion issue or warnings or errors that they don't realize that they're not familiar with, they can contact the Patent Electronic Business Center for troubleshooting purposes. We ask you to refer to the FR notice published on April 28th, 2022, December 20, 2022, as well as June 6, 2023 for further guidance. Filing DOCX in Patent Center. In Patent Center, you can file DOCX to non-provisional utility, provisional, national stage, and also you can file a DOCX in your amendments as well as your responses. So that's a functionality that exists right now in Patent Center. As I mentioned earlier, you can file a multi-section document. So a multi-section document is a single file that includes your specification, claims, abstract, as well as drawings in a single file. Based on your valid section headers, such as claims in one line by itself or abstract, a line by itself, as well as the various subsections of the specifications, such as background invention, detailed description of drawings, and so on, the system will automatically assign the document codes. Newer technology will also allow for enhancements such as the ability to file DOCX in design, as well as plan applications in DOCX. You also have the ability, similar to PDFs, to drag and drop your DOCX files within the Patent Center system. Here is a screenshot of the authentication screen within Patent Center. On the left-hand side, this is a screenshot of what you would see if you're a registered user. So as a registered user, what you'll need to do is enter your email address, followed by your password. And then what you'll need to do after that as a registered user is to enter your security method of your authentication code. And that may be received via email, phone number, text message, or through a mobile authenticator app. As a guest user on the right-hand side, that's a warning message if you aren't logged in as a registered user, and a warning will appear that says that you don't have full access compared to a registered user, such as you can't save your submission, you can't view the status of your pending application, and you can't file a follow-on to an existing application. So those are some of the examples of what you cannot do as a guest user. As a guest user, you're able to file an initial application. Here's a screenshot of the Patent Center dashboard. So what's highlighted on this screen is at the middle, my workbench, where you're able to view your saved submissions as well as your documents. And on to the right is the manage activity card, where you're able to manage your customer number details, update your correspondence address. And what I'll show you later on in my demo is training mode, and that's highlighted at the bottom here, where training mode is a simulated environment where you can test out our various validations. You can upload your DOCX and see what types of warnings that you may receive. You can also upload your PDFs as well if you'd like to. And this is a simulated environment where data is not stored into USPTO systems. It's just there. It's there for you to get familiar with our screens as well as, again, our content-based DOCX validations. So on this dashboard, this is only available to registered users. As a guest user, you don't have that ability to view Workbench or manage your customer numbers and so on. So it's recommended that you become a registered user to take advantage of some of these features of a registered user. In order to recognize that you're in training mode, you'll notice that there's a banner that's surrounding the page. So that's a great indicator that you are in practice mode or training mode, and nothing that's entered or submitted will be stored into USPTO systems or databases. In order to remove yourself from training mode, you can click on the top right-hand corner to exit training mode. The first screen that you'll see when accessing Patent Center in an application is the application data sheet. So you have three options here to complete the ADS. The first option is the web ADS, where we generate the form for you based on the entries that you make on the web screens. The second option is uploading a fillable ADS form. And the third option is if you don't have an ADS or you want to upload a custom ADS form, you're free to do that and continue on with the submission. I have to add that the first two options, the web ADS and uploading a fillable ADS form, is what we recommend. And that's because data that's automatically entered on the fillable form or on the web ADS will be automatically loaded into USPTO systems. Compared to if you do the third option and upload your own custom ADS, that data has to be manually entered by someone here and could fall into typographical errors and corrections would have to be made. So it's much faster for the two options, the web ADS and the fillable application data sheet form. This next screen shows you that you have the ability to drag and drop the DOCX into Patent Center system. In this example, the ADS was completed and also another PDF form. So you're able to drag and drop not just your PDFs, but DOCX into Patent Center, and you can drag and drop those files at the same time. Warnings and errors within DOCX. So with errors, just like PDFs, when you upload them into Patent Center, you have to make corrections to that error before you can proceed with your submission. You cannot submit if there is an error that's been identified. So in order to make this correction, if you receive an error, you'd have to go back to the source document. First, you would have to remove the document that resulted in that error, make that correction offline, and then re-upload it. At the bottom of this error example line, you can see that there is a warning here. So with warnings, you are still able to proceed with your submission. It won't prevent you from not filing. On this screen, it's highlighting the feedback document. So this feedback document is where you can see where the system has identified any warnings or errors. And this feedback document won't be available for you after submission. So it's only available pre-submission. You do have the ability to, when you click on it, save it, download it if you'd like. And again, it allows you to see where the warnings exist in your document. Here's an example where the word count is over 150 words. So it kind of tallies up all the warnings here in this section. To the right of it is, if you click on the three dots here, right after preview, go to the right of preview, you have some options here. You can edit your document description. You can remove the file. Say in the case if you have an error, you can remove it. You can also download the DOCX files and PDF files. So here is the validated DOCX. So this is free from any of the warning messages. So in the feedback document, I think it's on the slide that's going to follow afterwards, it'll mark up your document where the warnings are located, and it'll have comments from the USPTO saying that you have a warning here. Now this validated DOCX here, it's free from all those comments from the feedback document. And this is what you'll see also after you submit your patent application in Patent Center. You also have the ability to download and view the generated PDF file from the DOCX. So we generate the validated DOCX and we convert that to a PDF for you. And this is again available pre-submission. This section here is what's called the section indicator. So because you are using a valid section header, the system is able to identify that in this example, the specification, claims, and abstract sections are in this multi-section document. Because you've uploaded a multi-section DOCX, it's given the document description for this multi-section DOCX. It's called Application Body Structured Text Document, and that's a doc code of app.txt. So that's automatically assigned. And once this has been submitted, you're going to be able to see those split files in the retrieval component within Patent Center. So here's an example of the feedback document. What's highlighted here on the right is what we call the feedback summary. This is going to tally up all the warnings and errors that you may receive. In this example, what's circled here is an estimation of our independent and dependent claim counts. So because we estimate it, we don't automatically populate the claims in the calculate fee screen. Again, this is just used as a guide. And this feedback document, I can remind you, is not available after submission. It's only available pre-submission. So it gives how many instances of specific errors and warnings that we've detected. And here at the bottom right is what we call the site location of the warnings. It's going to point to where a warning. It's going to point to this warning here. So this is just an example, and it's pointing to this claim number 004. If you notice, it should be 4 numerals long, where in this case it's only 3, and that's why it's pointing to this specific warning within your specification section. In the claims section, it's identifying an independent claim. It also will validate based on what you've entered here in your claims. Some examples of claim validations include the claim number appears to be missing or out of order. So as you can see here, there's 2 number 3s. So that's probably a typographical error, and it should be number 4, but the system will identify that there is a problem with this claims. It's a warning, so you're still able to proceed with submission, but the purpose of showing you this up front is that if this was a mistake, you can make that correction by updating your source document and then re-uploading the document. So therefore, you won't receive this warning in your claim section. Here's an example of the abstract feedback section. So in this case, you're receiving that the word count of the abstract is over 150 words. The auxiliary PDF. So the auxiliary PDF option will be enabled once you upload a DOCX. So in this example, the multi-section DOCX was uploaded, was given the document description, new application, and text format. When this happens, when a DOCX is uploaded for a utility non-provisional application only, this section here will open up. And this is for you to upload the auxiliary PDF. So you're not to upload the auxiliary PDF in the above section here. It should be at the bottom of where you regularly upload your PDF files and DOCX files. In fact, in this section here, for the auxiliary PDF, you're only able to upload a single PDF file, nothing more. And again, this is optional. It's not a requirement that you do this. You're able to also make corrections if you accidentally uploaded the wrong file, because you can download it here, as the screenshot is showing you. If you download the file and notice that you've uploaded the incorrect file, you could remove it by clicking on this red X, and that will remove the auxiliary PDF from your submission. So for more information regarding the auxiliary PDF, we do have a guide, a quick reference guide available on our DOCX information page. And I'll show you that before my demo. Retrieval in Patent Center. So one does have the ability to view the status of your pending application. So this is similar to what you're able to perform within private pair. So on the first page of Patent Center, when you sign in as a registered user, you're able to, one, select the application type that you want to submit, or you can search on the same page for your pending application. So on this home screen within Patent Center, you could type in your application number. It has to be one of the common acceptable formats here listed on this page. And you'll be able to then retrieve your patent application and review its contents. At the bottom here is showing you that it also has the ability for you to view published applications, and that was the equivalent to what you had in public pair. So if you're not signed in, you are a guest, you're able to view published applications. You also have the ability as a registered filer or user to view published applications. So on this top screen here, you could enter, you're a registered user, you could then type in your application number that's published, and you'll be able to retrieve it. Well, actually, both the examples here shows that I am a registered user, but yes, you are able to view both features of private information, the application that you file, as well as published applications if you're a registered user. Patent Center Intuitive Application Viewer. Once I've entered an application number, it's grayed out here, but you'll be able to see your bibliographic information, such as the correspondence address, inventors, applicants, and so on. What's highlighted here is the Documents and Transactions tab. So clicking on that will allow you to view all the documents associated with your application. So in this example, what's highlighted here is the specification, claims, abstract, and drawings. So this was all included in the multi-section DOCX, and the system split it so that way you can view it in the following file formats. You can view it in DOCX. Each of those files, you can view them in DOCX, PDF, as well as XML. You can toggle and select multiple files to download and choose the file type. Let's see. Also on this screen, you're able to see the app.txt. So that's the multi-section DOCX that you uploaded. So this is the validated one. And you can see you're only able to see it in DOCX format. Here is the auxiliary PDF. So this is the PDF that you've uploaded to the system in that auxiliary PDF section. Here's a side-by-side comparison of what the USPTO generated from the DOCX compared to the auxiliary PDF that the user uploaded on its own. So you'll notice from a side-by-side comparison, they should be identical. Now, if you notice any discrepancies, we ask you to contact the Patent Electronic Business Center so that way we can look into this further. Okay, so right now I will show you a demo of Patent Center. And I believe have the home page here already popped up. And in order to gain access to Patent Center, there are a number of ways you can access it, such as patents and then selecting Patent Center. I like to go to Find It Fast. And in order to go directly into the system, you can click on this link here that has a keyboard icon. Now, this third option here for Patent Center is where you can, I'll click on it right now, is our Patent Center information page, and has various user guides and resources. It also has a what's new and known issues and workaround. A link to our DOCX information page can also be found here, or you can just type in uspto.gov /patent/DOCX to go directly to our page. At the top of our DOCX information page, you'll see any important notices or information that we have that you want you to review. It also explains DOCX and its benefits. Also has various guides, such as the DOCX user guides. It has the section headers. So these are section headers that the system identifies and is able to split your DOCX accurately. So if you have a drawings section, for example, that needs to have a section header. So your specification needs to have subsections such as detailed description of drawings. The claims section needs to have a claims header. The abstract needs to have one. And if you have drawings that you want to upload in DOCX, again, it's not part of the surcharge, the drawings that is, but if you want to include it in your DOCX, you need to have a valid section header there. These are our valid supported fonts that you may use. So if you notice that there are fonts that your office or that you use regularly and it's not in this list, let us know by contacting the EBC, and we can test to see if that's a font that we could support. We also have various warnings and errors. So these are the warnings and errors that you might encounter in DOCX filings. We also have the auxiliary PDF quick reference guide. This is what I had described to you earlier. And lastly is our DOCX best practices, where you can see our common issues that customers may encounter. Also on this page is our templates. So this is not required, but can be used as a guide. So in our templates, this template A has a comprehensive specification list where it has all the subsections of the specification. And then template B is a more simplified template that only has a few of the specification subsections. We also have FAQs here listed on this page. Okay. With that, let me go to our training session or our training mode within Patent Center. And in order to go to training mode, at the bottom of the Patent Center landing page, you can see a section for Patent Center training mode. So you click on this enter training mode button, you'll get a warning that this is a simulated environment and nothing that's entered will be saved into the USPTO databases. So I'll notice that I'm in training mode because of this banner that's surrounding the page. And what I'll do in this case is I'll go to the activity card for new submission and select utility non-provisional. So the first screen is the application data sheet, where I'll be able to enter the WebEDS, or I can upload a fillable AI14. For the purposes of time, I'll go ahead and select the third option and enter the minimal bibliographic information. Now, if I don't complete all the required information here, I will receive an error. So there are some validations here present. So if I hit continue, for example, it'll say fix the errors. So I'll go ahead and complete this. I'll just go ahead and enter some dummy text here. And state. And then I should be able to continue. So this is where I'm able to drag and drop my files. So I've already prepared some files here. So let me drag it over here. And here, I'm going to use in this example a template that I've just downloaded from our DOCX information page. I believe I entered some dummy text in there. So what happens when I've uploaded it, I'll see that the auxiliary PDF option window pops up. So that wasn't available before. I'll go ahead and remove it again so that way, in case you miss it, or you can actually go back to your video and see it. But I'll browse for my files or folder, and I'll go ahead and not drag and drop, but just double click I can either drag and drop or browse for it. In that case, I just browse for it. And you'll see that this pops up here where I'm able to drag and drop my auxiliary PDF here. So this is a PDF that I created on my own. I can use like a scanner or a PDF writer to convert on my own the DOCX to PDF. Let's see. So let me go over a few things here. This is the feedback document option where I'm able to click on it and view the feedback document. Again, this is only available pre-submission. To the right of here, I'm able to preview it or click on the three dots. I have the ability to edit, remove, and I can download the validated DOCX. So this is free of any comments. And here is also the PDF that the system has generated. So both of these files you will be able to retrieve after submitting in the retrieval component of Patent Center. So in this example, it's showing me that my abstract count wasn't compliant. And again, this is a warning, and figures were not detected in the drawing section. So I had a drawing section header there, but no image or figure located beneath that drawing section. So those are just some of the examples that you may receive when you upload a DOCX. This compared to PDF. PDF, we don't do content-based validation. So this is, again, a benefit of uploading a DOCX where we're able to do the various content-based validations to help speed up the filing process. Here is where we've detected the various sections. So because I have valid section headers, the system was able to detect that there was a specification, claims, abstract, and drawings. Again, there was a warning that figures were not detected in the drawings. Let me see. I'll just go quickly to the PDF so that way you can see what happened. So this is the PDF version. I have these are all dummy text. And there's my claims section. I have the abstract here and the drawing, and you'll notice that there's no images from the drawing section, just text. Let's see. I'll go ahead and browse. I can also drag and drop my auxiliary PDF here. And there I could then remove the file or download it if I wish, pre-submission. So this screen, again, the section indicators, we ask you to make sure you use valid section headers. So that way our system will be able to detect and split accurately the different sections. And the auxiliary PDF, this is the proper section where you're supposed to upload your auxiliary PDF, and only in this section. And only one file are you able to upload in this section for the auxiliary PDF. Let me hit continue. This is the calculate fee screen where I'm able to enter data on the screen. It's not populated. You have to enter it yourself. And let's see, I'll hit continue. And then in this case, I'll go ahead and select the filing, search, and examination fees. Go ahead and hit continue. Again, a reminder, nothing that is entered into the various screens in training mode will be saved. So here's my review and submit screen. So on the review and submit screen, I'm able to review everything that I've entered on the bibliographic information section. And also I'm able to review everything that I've uploaded. So in this example, I've uploaded a multi-section DOCX. It's given the document description, application body, structured text document. It will show me the warnings, and it'll also show me the detected section headings. Let's see. So the auxiliary PDF is also the file that I uploaded in this example. I'm able to preview if I wish. And lastly, it's showing me the payment details. What I'll have to do now is enter my information followed by my email address. And then I'll hit submit. And what I'll receive, again, not a real one because it's training mode, but this is an example of what you would receive if you were submitting a real application, and this is your electronic acknowledgement receipt. So the top gives you the application number. It's echoed back here on the actual acknowledgement receipt. Patent Center ID is also here as well, and the timestamp when this was submitted. So it gives me the invention title, the bibliographic information, and the documents that were uploaded. In this example, it's showing me the DOCX as well as the auxiliary PDF, and followed by the message digest, which are sort of like the electronic fingerprints of each document. So it has its own algorithm to detect or to calculate the hash for each of the documents that were uploaded and validated. Let's see. So let me go back to our training session slide deck. So for additional resources, we ask you to go to our Patent Center information page. And also there's information how to become a registered filer. The DOCX information page, that's the page where I showed you where you can look at our DOCX user guide, the valid section headers, as well as our valid fonts that you can use in the DOCX. We also have information about the eOffice Action Program. For updates, we ask you to subscribe for the patent alerts. And also, what you can do is, if you have any suggestions that you'd like to give us, feel free to use IdeaScale, which is a platform where you could enter your ideas. As a team, we review your ideas, especially the ones that get voted up or have comments, and we meet regularly as a team to review them. And we look at them and see if we can incorporate them into our backlog to implement into Patent Center. Let's see, and I think that concludes that portion. Right now, I'll go ahead and jump to the Q&A session. Okay. The first question, what documents and submission types are affected by the non-DOCX surcharge? The surcharge pertains to new utility non-provisional applications filed under 35 USC 111A for specifications, claims, and abstracts that are not filed in DOCX. This includes continuations, divisional, and continuation in part applications. Drawings are accepted in DOCX format, but can still be submitted in PDF without incurring a surcharge. Other documents and submission types may still be filed using PDF documents. We ask you to please visit the DOCX information page for more information. Next question. Can I include figures and drawings in my DOCX document? Can equations or chemical diagrams be inserted as images in my DOCX? Will they be loaded correctly? Yes, you can insert or embed images in your DOCX document. You can also insert equations and chemical diagrams as images into your DOCX. Some file types like ChemDraw, math equations can be directly inserted into the page. DOCX Services fully supports equations editing software such as MathML and chemical structure editing software such as ChemDraw. The USPTO has conducted extensive DOCX testing with files that contain chemical structures and mathematical formula, and determined that Patent Center is able to store and process DOCX files with high fidelity. Further, through extensive DOCX testing with files that contain chemical structures and mathematical formula, we determined that they are rendered correctly when they use an approved font. Please see our supported font list and DOCX resource information page for more information. Next question, is DOCX mandatory? DOCX is not mandatory. All files will continue to be accepted in PDF. However, since January 17, 2024, the non-DOCX surcharge is due if your specification claims the abstract is filed in a new utility non-provisional application under 111A and are filed in a format other than DOCX. Please note, utility non-provisional applications under 111A also includes continuations, divisional, and continuation of part applications. Next question, if I file a new utility non-provisional application in a foreign language, does it have to be in DOCX format to avoid the non-DOCX surcharge? The non-DOCX surcharge applies to the specification, claims, and abstract filed in a new utility non-provisional application filed under 35 USC 111A. If you need to file a U.S. application in a foreign language to secure a filing date, that it is the foreign language application, for example, the specification, claims, abstract, and any drawings, that is the original disclosure of the application. If the specification, claims, and or abstract are not filed in DOCX format, then the surcharge will be due if the application is a utility filed on or after January 17, 2024. Please keep in mind that filing an application in a foreign language is intended for emergency situations only. See MPEP 608.01 subsection 5 for more information. Do you have a DOCX template for filing a patent application? DOCX templates are available on the DOCX information page. Also, a list of acceptable headers and a list of warnings and errors are available in the DOCX resources section of the DOCX information page. And again, the URL for that is www.uspto.gov/patent/docx. Next question, what is the purpose of the auxiliary PDF? The auxiliary PDF initiative provides applicants additional time to gain confidence in the reliability and accuracy of the USPTO system when filing in DOCX format. Refer to the Federal Register notice published on April 28, 2022 for further guidance, which is also listed on our DOCX information page. Next question, how do I file the auxiliary PDF document? First, you have to upload the DOCX document in the Uploads Documents section. Once the DOCX document is uploaded, a new section where the auxiliary PDF can be uploaded will become available. The auxiliary PDF may be uploaded by either using the select file or by dragging and dropping the document into the screen. The auxiliary PDF will automatically be assigned the auxiliary PDF document code. Remember, only one auxiliary PDF document can be uploaded per submission, and the auxiliary PDF can only be uploaded if a DOCX document is uploaded in the submission. Please see the auxiliary PDF quick reference guide on our DOCX information page for more information. Yeah, so if you upload into the regular section and you want to name it auxiliary PDF, you cannot do so. You can assign a document code or a document auxiliary PDF that can only automatically be assigned by our system, and that's why there is a specific section for that for you to upload the auxiliary PDF. How does the system handle any metadata on documents? Metadata is generally removed by applicants prior to submission. However, if metadata is found during the validation process, it is automatically removed prior to submission. Examples of metadata that is removed include author, company, and last modified by. The only information that is preserved is the size, page count, and word count. Next question, is filing in DOCX secure? The submission of a DOCX file generates a unique hash based on the content within the file. For security, the system rejects DOCX with macros, that's a DOCM, and implements virus detection software to prevent malware. The DOCX format is an international standard defined under ECMA 376 and ISO IEC 29500 and approved by the Library of Congress. When filing a non-provisional application, if I use DOCX in Microsoft Word, can I upload an ADS and PDF? Yes, you may upload your ADS and PDF. You may also upload other forms and documents in PDF along with your DOCX documents. For example, you may upload your specification, claims, abstract in DOCX format, and then upload your ADS, IDS, MPL in PDF. Also, other various forms such as your author deck in PDF. That's fine too. When filing a DOCX application in Patent Center, is there a special format that it needs to be, or does it automatically split the specification, claims, abstract? The sections are identified based on the use of approved section headers. The list of approved headers is available on our DOCX information page. We also have templates that may be used as a guide on our DOCX information page as well. Okay, I think that's the end of the question and answer session. So we want to thank you for attending today's DOCX training. On behalf of our team, please send us your any questions to the Patent Electronic Business Center, especially for troubleshooting questions, and have a great day. A few more questions have come in. Let me go ahead and address them. So if I want to file a preliminary amendment on the same day as my initial filing of a new utility application under 35 USC 111A, does a preliminary amendment need to be in DOCX format to avoid the non-DOCX surcharge? So in accordance with 37 CFR 1.115A, a preliminary amendment that is present on the filing date of an application is part of the original disclosure of the application. Thus, if a preliminary amendment is filed on the same day as the application, the amendment must be in DOCX format to avoid the surcharge. A preliminary amendment filed after the filing date of the application will not incur the surcharge because it is not part of the original disclosure of the application, and thus it is not required to be in DOCX format. Next question, how can I file a preliminary amendment in DOCX for a new utility application under 35 USC 111A on the same day as my initial DOCX filing to avoid the non-DOCX surcharge? A preliminary amendment to the specification claims or abstract cannot be filed in DOCX format as part of the initial submission of a new application. If you want to submit a preliminary amendment that is considered part of the original disclosure of the application under 37 CFR 1.115A and avoid the non-DOCX surcharge, you should file the preliminary amendment in DOCX format on the same day as a follow-on submission in the application. Let me check. And I think that is it for your questions. So on behalf of the EMA team, thanks and have a great day.